we're going to be diving into like something that has always bothered me, and it might have bothered you too.
Okay.
Okay. And that is why didn't other countries help Britain during like either of the Wizarding Wars with Voldemort? He wasn't exactly subtle. Like the guy had an ego the size of a planet and was clearly like aiming for world domination.
Oh, totally.
So you'd think every Ministry of Magic would have been like tripping over themselves to lend a wand, right?
Yeah, it does seem that way on the surface, but I think there are actually some really compelling reasons why that might not have been the case.
Okay.
Let's start with like the most obvious one. Maybe other countries just didn't know how bad things were.
I mean, they just didn't know. Like Voldemort was terrorizing the whole country.
I know it seems crazy, but Voldemort and the Death Eaters were very good at keeping things quiet, especially during the Second War. They learned from their mistakes the first time around, and they got really good at like propaganda, and they infiltrated the Ministry of Magic, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And they controlled the press with the Daily Prophet. Like anyone who spoke out against them was silenced.
So classic control the narrative then.
Pretty much. And we also have to remember that other countries had their own problems to deal with.
Right.
There are over 100 wizarding governments out there, each with its own set of challenges. So it's possible that Voldemort's rise to power in Britain just didn't seem like a big deal on a global scale at first.
Okay, so maybe other countries were just kind of in the dark. But what if they knew what was happening and just chose not to get involved?
Right.
Like, that's kind of dark, isn't it?
It is. And it leads us to a question that might make some Potterheads a little uncomfortable.
Okay.
What if Wizarding Britain had a bit of a reputation problem? What if other countries had good reason to be hesitant about helping them?
Wait, you're saying Wizarding Britain was like the bad boy of the wizarding world?
Well, let's look at some of their institutions and see.
Okay.
For example, the Ministry of Magic, riddled with corruption and incompetence.
Like, remember Lucius Malfoy?
Yeah.
Death Eater? And he held a high-ranking position in the ministry? And their control over the Daily Prophet really makes you question their commitment to a free press and transparency.
Right.
Does that sound like a government you'd want to support?
Yeah. No, not really.
And then there's Hogwarts, a school that's supposed to be all about values and tradition. But don't forget about Slytherin House and their whole philosophy of pure blood supremacy.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine a school where one of the main houses is dedicated to teaching kids that they're better than everyone else because of their bloodline.
Ugh, that's a huge red flag.
It is. And then to top it all off, you have Azkaban, where they use Dementors as guards.
Oh gosh, yeah.
A prison where the guards literally suck the happiness out of you.
It's horrible.
That doesn't really seem like a justice system. It's more like a horror movie.